episode 25 of Shack Out Back, starring me, Jim, and the other one, who is...
Danny, and the third person.
Who is...
Speaking. Brandon. Hello.
It's that B. Chen, that Brandon Chen. We got no Patrick this week. Patrick's doing actual real-world stuff. He's
Patrick's
fucking doing
a real
school
guy
shit.
in school.
It's crazy to pass up the chance of being a famous YouTuber here, but,
Famous VTuber. Yeah, this is what I do. I edit the podcast, and I put it like a bunch of ahigao faces that move as we talk.
That'd be so sick. You should do
Absolutely.
that.
So, this is Shack Out Back, a book club of sorts. We talk about a new topic every week. Follow us on YouTube. This week, we're doing one of our favorite games from this year that we all started playing. Well, Dan played it before, and so did Brandon, but I didn't.
Bit, yeah.
It's Deep Rock Galactic, the indie wonder, the best game.
It's really good.
Oh, it is. I fucking love it, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
I think it's been about 15 episodes or something since you've been on, Brandon. Something like
Has
that.
it really been
10,
that many?
15,
Like
that.
already? Jeez.
I bet.
Wow.
It's been like half a year, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
As we always start with the bi-weekly breakdown, so the listeners, this is probably going to be a little longer one. It's probably going to be like an hour, so we're doing a bi-weekly breakdown of 3 people. What we've been doing the last 2 weeks, and I think I'm going to pick Daniel Markle to go first. So what did you do, Dan?
Me, I've been doing quite a bit. The last episode went out... What was the last episode? What would we talk about? Episode 24.
Jinro, the Shack Brigade.
And that was, we recorded it before I went to Alberta, right?
Yeah, so that was like 2.5 weeks ago, I think, our last recording.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. So yeah, I got back from Alberta. Alberta was hella fun, and me and my girlfriend are probably moving to Calgary, maybe.
I hope not.
That's so sad, but potentially, I don't know. It's a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been watching a lot of movies. I've watched a lot of like really good movies. I watched Annette. I watched Black KK Klansman. And I watched
What?
Sorry to Bother You. Jim, you'd like all these
haven't heard about-
movies. You've
Yeah,
never heard of Black KK
yeah.
Klansman?
You mean Black Klansman?
No, Black KK Klansman.
You gotta get the 3 Ks in there, Jim.
It's on my list.
It's important.
Okay.
There's a K in the middle,
You know what it stands
Jim.
for, right, Jim?
Yeah, Jim, you know what it stands for, Jim.
Cuckold, kitchen, I don't know. Last
I was
one.
going to say...
Ketchup. Cuckold,
I was going to say
kitchen,
Candy
ketchup.
Cane
There we
Kids,
go.
but yeah, no, I mean, that works too.
Candy Kids. Yeah, so...
See where my brain's at.
I've been watching a lot of those. Annette was a really weird movie with Adam Driver, and it was like a musical, and it was, they had like a little kid, a little wooden doll for a kid, and it was real weird. And
That Adam Driver, he's just like, after Marriage Story and the Star Wars, he's just like, whatever, I'm doing
He's doing
fucking
a lot of
whatever, I don't
weird shit.
care.
Well,
because he was in Black Klansman too. He was Flip in Black Klansman, and that was an insanely good movie. And then on the plane home, I watched Sorry to Bother You, which is probably not the movie to watch on a plane with someone sitting next to me.
What was it about?
It's like a telemarketer. It's a telemarketer that gets a job, and it's very stylized and really funny. But he gets a job at a telemarketing agency, and he works his way up the ranks, and he has to use his white person voice because he's a black dude. And they're like,
Oh,
"You gotta use
yes,
your
I
white
think I've
person
seen
voice."
adverts for that.
Yeah. And it's like a dubbed over fancy white person talking, and he gets a bunch of sales, and he eventually learns that like the place he's working for is like fucked. They sell like human slavery
Jesus.
and genocide bombs and like lunatic shit.
Isn't it the guy from the Death Note, like, American version and Get Out and stuff who stars in that?
It is not. I didn't know him, but I feel like I've seen him a lot. His name is Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, I love Lakeith
I feel like
Stanfield.
he has one of those faces where I'm like, I've definitely seen him in shit, but I don't think I've seen him in like a starring role. But Stephen
Oh yeah,
Yeun is in it.
he was in Get Out and the
Was he?
remake of and in
Oh, was
Death
he
Note,
the-
he was L.
he was
He was
the-
L, bro.
Yeah, but in Get Out, was he like the
He was the guy who had like the old man's brain in his body.
he was in another movie I saw recently, too, where he was like a detective or something. I forgot what the name of the movie was, though.
He just has that look. He does that like side eye, head down.
I'm thinking
look.
of Knives Out. He's one of the detectives, remember?
Oh, really?
No spoilers. I haven't seen Knives Out yet, bro.
But yeah, other than that, I've been watching movies. I've been putting the finishing touches up on my gunplay I've been
Nice.
working on for a little bit, and I've been playing a hell ton of Prey. I started replaying Prey out of a whim.
Good game.
Dan was sweating and swatting last night. We'll be listening and playing.
Good game. Really great game.
What about Brandon? What has Brandon been doing?
Brandino, what have you been doing the last 6 months?
6 months.
What have you been doing the last
All
2
right, we're
weeks?
doing the bi-yearly breakdown. The last 2 weeks I've been playing, I just finished actually Knights of the Old Republic 2. Really interesting game. Kind of it's funny, it's like a critique of the Force and all of Star Wars and all that. It's very interesting. Well, I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but the main kind of theme.
Isn't that game like fucking ages old?
Oh yeah, it's 2005, I think. So yeah, like 16 years old. Jeez. Well, they're remaking it. So the
yeah,
first one,
true.
anyway.
So there's probably going to be people playing it for the first time. Yeah,
For sure.
They're not remaking it. They're fucking shoving a new lighting engine on it.
No.
Slapping her on the ass and saying
Jim,
that's
they're
done.
they're remaking the whole thing. They said ground up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they would lie about that. That'd be a pretty. I think they'd catch a lot of fire for that one. But yeah, KOTOR 2, really good. Recommend that. I recommend you play the first one first to understand what the hell's going on, of course. But yeah, really, really great game. Really interesting deep dive into like the Star Wars like philosophy and like how, you know, it's a bit black and white, you know, and that's definitely true. It's a bit fucky. And another Star Wars thing, a TV show I've been watching is The Visions, like the anime adaptations, not adaptations, but anime little shorts about some Star Wars things, and it's like non-canon, so they got a bunch of anime studios like Trigger and stuff like that to just go wild and make like crazy Star Wars stories and stuff, and it's really fun. Yeah, it's really cool. Very visually splendid. The Trigger one, like the first one, it's like the same guys who did Promare and Kill la Kill, so
Studio
it's
Trigger,
just as bombastic as you might imagine. It's ridiculous. It's a bit of a spoiler, but there's one character who jumps on an X-Wing in outer space with no spacesuit, and then hyperspace lances someone with a fucking lightsaber the size of a fucking building. It's incredible. You gotta see it to believe it.
I'm gonna make Jim watch Kill la Kill. Me and him will sit down and watch some Kill la Kill.
You'll have to tie me down with a bunch of
on the next bi-weekly breakdown.
What is Kill la Kill about?
Kill la Kill's about, Jim's gonna say, I don't want to fucking watch that when I tell him.
I think it's about sexualizing teenagers, right?
No, it's not. It's about clothes that suck out your blood, so the less
that's it.
The
I'm
less
good.
clothes
All right, let's keep
the
going.
stronger you can be. And there's the nudist.
No.
Let's get a picture of the main character,
Jim,
and we'll say
so good.
No. I'm good. Let's keep going. Right. It's Jim's turn.
Let's not get into this can of worms.
Jim, who takes notes about Check Out Back, he watched all of Peaky Blinders, which is really good, really fun.
Jim's watching that disgusting British television.
Yeah. I watched Hacksaw Ridge, which is good. I watched Doctor Sleep, which is fucking amazing. Probably the best movie I've seen this year. I watched this. Brandon didn't remember this. I went over to Brandon's house because he was taking care of his house. We watched The Sisters Brothers and The Maltese Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which are both movies I've seen before, and they were really good. I watched a lot of stand-up the last 2 weeks. Like, a lot. I probably watched, like, 25 sets.
Jeez.
And I used to watch a lot of stand-up when I was a kid, like, watch Just for Laughs and shit, like, in the afternoon in Canada. But the only two I really liked were Tom Segura. He was really funny. And Sam J. She was really funny, too. She was hilarious. Yeah, that fucking looks terrible, Dan. The Kill la Kill character. I've been playing Pokemon Platinum a little bit. That's been good just to, like, turn my brain off and play. I finished Little Nightmares, which had a good ending.
That was the
fun.
first one, right? You played the first one?
Yeah, because it was free on Steam.
Oh, yes, you're right.
I started and finished Detention, which is a game by Red Candle Studios, and it's probably my favorite game I played this year. It's a point-and-click horror game, like puzzle game.
You liked that a lot, it sounded like, by what you were saying. I have it on my wish list.
Good as hell. And I read and watched Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove, I think I've talked about on the podcast like 4 months ago. It's an 800-page cowboy book, and it was really fucking sad. It was like Dante's Inferno.
Damn.
And then I watched the miniseries, which was not as good. That book made me cry. It was fucking good as hell. And it had the most heinous shit happen in it I've ever read in my fucking life.
Wow.
It was good. Yeah, I think that's it for the bi-weekly breakdowns. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we jump into our main topic
I just
here?
wanted to say congratulations, guys, for so many episodes. Like, really, like, you guys have been on the podcast grind. It's
I'm
awesome.
surprised we kept up with it.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to keep up
I
with
think it's the
just
perfect, like, before it was a lot. I was talking to Cass about it, and we had an episode that was, like, about the Dead Space franchise in its entirety, and it was, 2 hours and 45 minutes long, if not longer?
Yeah, something like that.
Dang.
It took me, like, 4 days to edit.
Yeah, it's like, that's a lot of shit. I like doing this,
sure.
like, under an hour every other week on a Monday. Feels good.
Yeah.
It gives you something to do.
Absolutely.
So, our topic today is the game I've been talking about since February. We've all been playing together since February. It's the wonderful, the amazing, the luxurious Deep Rock Galactic.
DRG, baby.
So good.
So, Brandon, you give us a little overview. What is Deep Rock Galactic? You give us a little blurb.
All right. Deep Rock Galactic is a 4-player co-op shooter on the planet of Hoxie's 4, where you will be mining minerals and killing bugs by the score. Yeah, no, honestly, it's hard to describe other than just like, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead and Minecraft had a baby. but not shit. Yeah, I mean,
But
Minecraft's
not
pretty
shit.
good. And I like
Ain't
the old
that
Left
the
4 Dead
truth?
games too. But I mean, this definitely builds on it in a great way. Like the enemy AI and stuff's all varied, and like the variety isn't just in like really powerful special infected, but like every kind of bug has like a different unit that's slightly more powerful or like weaker in some areas and then stronger in others.
It's a lot of prioritizing. You always got to think about where you're going, what you're shooting, how you're moving.
It's probably the best horde-based shooter I've ever
It's
played.
I
fantastic.
think so too.
Yeah.
I like the old Left 4 Deads too, but I always, every year or so, I'm like, I really want to go and play Left 4 Dead 2. And then I boot it up for like an hour and I'm like, yeah, I've had enough of Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
Well, that happened at the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah, we
when
played it
got
for
our
a little
PCs
bit.
together. This is before Shack Out Back, but Dan was like, Jim, you gotta buy Left 4 Dead 2.
It's like always know nothing on Steam.
We did, and we beat the campaign Left 4 Dead 1 one afternoon, and the next day we played like 2 mods for Left 4 Dead 2, and then Dan was like, fuck this, and then we just stopped playing. And it was getting kind of old after
Yeah,
gets very
it-
samey,
I don't
yeah.
know. I understand why people like it so much, but I think Deep Rock is just, in my opinion, completely better.
infinitely replayable.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
wonderfully
Galactic.
refined version of the formula, I would say. It's like, because it's with the enemy variety, it kind of strikes me like almost like Doom, where like there's like, you know, the thinking comes in like how you're going to prioritize different targets at any given time and stuff. And there's an element of that in Left 4 Dead, but I think with Deep Rock, it's just constant, right?
It's stronger.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
constant.
The other
It's
thing
like,
that
yeah.
kills me about Deep Rock, I absolutely love it, and Left 4 Dead sucks with it. Left 4 Dead, it feels like you're shooting cotton candy zombies that will fall over at this slightest touch. And Deep Rock is all about feedback. Everything
Oh, yeah.
makes noises, and the bugs like squish and splorp and explode and stuff if you shoot them properly. Oh, it feels so good.
So when you boot into a game of Deep Rock Galactic, you are one of 4 classes. Which are, Dan? What are the 4 classes?
I play the gunner. We were supposed to record with our other buddy Patrick, but yeah, as we said, he's doing work. I play the gunner. So the gunner has a big ass guns, and he's slower than the other classes usually, and he has the worst mobility technically, but he just has fucking huge guns.
What do you usually play, Bran?
I'm usually a scout guy, but when it's all 4 of us together, I'm usually a driller when we're going on the serious elite deep dives, which
Yeah,
we'll
that's
probably
true.
we'll get to later.
What do those 2 classes do?
Oh yeah. So well, the scout, he likes to grapple around. He's very fast. Generally more of an individualist, I guess you could say, gameplay wise. Like, and he also has a flare gun that shoots light for everyone in the cave. The scout's the best at getting minerals that are in hard to reach places and stuff, and he's just very jumpy and goes around very fast. The driller is just as you might imagine, he has big drills that can break through the environment. Oh, I forgot to mention that with the Minecraft thing too, is that every environment is destructible as well as procedural, so you can break like any wall, basically anything. It's really fantastic like that. And he also has a big C4 and flamethrowers and cryo cannons.
Jim here, he plays the everyman. He plays the best class. He mains the engineer. The engineer's the man who's got the turrets. He's got the gadgets. He's got the breach cutter, which is the best gun in the game. It shoots a big, long, wide laser at all the bugs and kills them instantly. He's a good man, and he's usually the one like holding down the fort and making sure that everyone's safe in order to like do shit like drill or grab stuff or shoot lots of bugs.
And nothing says every man like someone who spent 8 years in engineering school at MIT. Yeah, it's
So the run, the grind of Deep Rock Galactic is you're one of these 4 classes. You upgrade them individually. You buy them new gear, new guns, all that good stuff. There's lots of cosmetics. You go into the cave, and this is just a regular mission. You go into the cave, whatever mission it might be. You grab resources, you grab money, and use those resources and money to grab like more upgrades or cosmetics or different like special things for your guns and stuff like that. But it's like infinitely replayable.
It's a never-ending spiral of shit to do, really.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's weekly challenges and weekly stuff you can do and missions, and you can join people online and all that good stuff.
I like that Deep Rock doesn't have dailies. It has weeklies.
too.
Because I remember back when I played Hearthstone, they had dailies, and it was like I was doing the dailies straight for like 2.5 months, and then I missed a couple, and I was like, oh, I'll just replay it again in another few days. Then I missed a couple more, and a couple more, and a couple more, and I was like, is it worth it going back? And it
Not
wasn't.
even slightly. No, it's a predatory game tactic. It's got to
100%, yeah.
reward you for even like turning on the game because it's not that good.
But Deep Rock with the weeklies, it gives you more of an opportunity to get together with your 4 boys, the 3 boys who are here, and Sweet Pat, and we get together and we do the big missions.
It's always what we do. Yeah, we're always like, what day works for people? Let's do the deep dive, and then it'll be 10 o'clock, and Jim says, let's play the EDD, and I go, Jim, I want to sleep.
Describe the events that happened last night, Brandon.
Okay, so well, first I should probably describe the deep dives. So the deep dives are some of the weekly content where it's actually 3 missions in one. And instead of secondary objectives, because usually there's primary and secondary objectives, the secondary being optional, it's 2 primary objectives that you have to complete before you can move on to the next stage. And there's a regular deep dive and there's an elite deep dive. The elite deep dive is the one we were doing, the one we were talking about. It was extremely difficult. It is usually quite difficult.
Yeah, usually we sleep through the first one. Like, we do the regular deep dive.
It's fun. It's fun. We're talking. It's good. It's very fun. But yeah, it's easy usually.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like usually the regular deep dive, we can blow through that in 30, sometimes even 20 minutes, depending on the objectives. Elite deep dives are usually about 45 minutes to an hour. They're definitely a lot tougher. A lot more bugs, a lot more frequency of waves. But yeah, so we're on the last stage, and we're doing this thing called a black box.
Oh, no. Tell me what happened the first time we got out of the fucking drop pod in the first stage.
Oh, yeah, so there are these enemies called spitballers who can pretty much, they just snipe you with these little projectiles that can pretty much down you in 2 hits.
They're 15 feet tall. They're usually one of them in one cave.
They unfurl into a horrifying stalk of plant/bug matter, and they make these great... Again, sound design in this game is fantastic. You can always
tell everything in this game by just listening. I love that when you get into a cave and you hear noises, and instantly it feels like you know what's happening.
Yeah. And like, once you get, more experience in the game like we are, you can start making plans for events and stuff like that.
100%.
And although it's hard to make a plan when when the door opens and 3 of these motherfuckers are staring you right in the face.
Literally.
And we're just like, well, and we probably should have just stayed in the drop pod because you get damage reduction in there. But we ran out and we were running around like a bunch of ants with a magnifying glass hot on our tails. And we managed to survive, but that was just really portentous of the chaos that was about to ensue, because the last stage, that was rough. That was real rough.
We haven't described the how the mission scale too, because there's different difficulties you can set as well.
So this game has these things called hazard levels, which essentially control how much damage the bugs do, how much damage they take, and how many spawn, etc., how fast they are. And it goes from hazard 1 to 5. And but the deep dives are kind of special because they have half increments. So the first deep dive is hazard 3, which is a pretty normal middling difficulty. Then it goes to 3.5.
Baby mode.
And then it goes to 3.5 on the second stage, and then 4 on the third stage. Whereas with the elite deep dives, it starts at 4.5. Second stage is 5, and then the third stage is 5.5, which is currently, without mods, the hardest difficulty in the game. So it's kind of like, this is the end game content for sure. And if you fail any of them, you have to start the entire thing over.
Yes,
there's no checkpoints. Yeah. So yeah, that last stage got a little hairy. We did almost indeed fail.
We were very close.
We were very. Jim was getting a little mad.
Jim was screaming. Jim was having a remnant from the ashes moment.
Yeah, and it was just like, because the elite deep dives can definitely be very difficult, and I find it's so strange. You can go to the subreddit and look up what the stages are going to be, which is good for the elite deep dives and stuff if you want to prepare for it with loadouts and all that. And it's so funny, every week that says oh, this one's a doozy, we can not breeze through, but we do pretty well. And then every time they say it's this week's easy, it's super easy, we just get crammed every single time. It's ridiculous. It's so strange. I mean, granted, there is a measure of randomness. So, whereas most of the levels are randomly procedurally generated, the deep dives are the same the entire time. They're procedurally generated, but they're always the same for everyone in that week. So it helps if you fail, you can kind of plan ahead as well with that.
You can look ahead and look at what people are saying.
Yeah, exactly. And most people, you'll have people saying oh, this one was easy, or oh, this is a tough one this week, or something.
Watch out for stage X.
Yeah.
Around the corner there's X. You can kind of plan it easier.
And then you have some people who go absolutely apeshit bananas in the comments, just freaking out about how hard the deep dives are, which are kind of funny.
Love it. I love watching people talk about it. I fucking failed the deep dive 2 seconds in, and it's how? Genuinely how?
Yeah. I mean, we've had some times that were close to that, but yeah.
I did that once. The one story we told about Deep Rock before, where we got absolutely butterfucked that one time, I actually went on the subreddit, and I didn't bitch and moan. I was just it was way too hard. Me and my team of 4 guys who play a lot tried it.
That was the one we tried multiple times. That was the one where where it was the dreadnought, right, on that slanted area. It was twins. Yeah, that one was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, there was that one that we did. Remember where we opened the drop pod and it was chaos. It was 3-4 spitballers.
Oh yeah, that second stage.
Thousands of Mactero, which were shooting at us, and we were just nope. We didn't even try again on that one. We were no.
So we told that story where we did the one last night, and we walked out, and there was 3 spitballers in front of us, and I was fine, right? It was bad because they were all shooting at us, but we killed them because there were 4 of us. us. But that other time, we got on the second stage, and we were in this big divot in the ground. It was on Magma Core, I remember. And there were 5 spitballers around us on the edges that were all firing down at us. And Mactera, which are flying enemies, and Elite Slashers, and a bunch of shit. And I was just like, nope, not doing it again.
It can, like, Magma Core especially can be very aptly hellish, you know? It looks the most hellish, and it can feel the most hellish, absolutely. Floor is literally lava in a lot of places in that one. So, yeah, it kind of sucks, but I still have fun on it. Not like...
I like all the biomes. They're a healthy mix.
Yes.
Yeah, we should talk about the biomes. So, describe some of the biomes that's in here. What's your favorite biome, you guys?
Me?
Yeah, let's start with you, Dan.
Yeah, both of you.
I always like the snow one. I feel like I don't see it much. What's that one called?
Glacial Strata.
Glacial Strata. I like Glacial Strata a lot because you can land in the snow and it like reduces fall damage, and I like jumping off the sides of cliffs and stuff. But
what about you, Brandon?
Yeah.
See, that's a tricky one. I think it might be either between Salt Pits and Crystalline Caverns.
Salt Pit's a classic.
Salt Pit, both of those are like what I think of like quintessential deep rock. Like they're you know, they're rocky.
Crystalline
they have, like,
Caverns
cool
is
colors.
hella good too.
Very like simple and elegant. Yeah, like and the crystals are really fun to like. Man, like some of the gen in those are like fantastic. The crystals that are coming down. It's and also I like Salt Pits because you can use the stalactites to like kill big bosses and stuff, which is super fun.
Yeah,
we've done that a couple times. It always feels good.
I think mine would have to be Radioactive Exclusion Zone. I like that one a lot.
You like the green glowy rocks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like. No one likes Hollow Bow, eh?
No, that's my least favorite.
Yeah.
In fact, Hollow Bow is dark. There's vines that hurt you that are everywhere. There's big vine enemies that are ripped right from Half-Life 1 that scare the fucking shit out of me, and you can never see in there. There's like a filter over things that you just cannot see when you shoot flares.
Yeah,
I don't
walls,
hate
like,
it, but yeah, it is the most annoying most of the time.
Mm-hmm. And it sucks too because I think visually it's stunning. Like it's really awesome.
Cool.
Like it's got like the brown wood and the red spiky vines and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of times playing that map, it literally feels like being chased through like a thorny thicket by a serial killer. And like I guess that's kind of what they're going for, but it's a bit like more on the annoying side, I guess, rather than the fun, terrifying. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think conceptually and in terms of interesting factor, it's high up there because it's one of the 2 newer biomes because it's very neat. But I think Azure Wield is way better. Sure. Azure Wield's like fucking cool as hell. Azure Wield is like a very dark cave with like cool flora and fauna and like big like manta rays you can climb onto and like fly around with and shit like that.
I love flying around on the manta rays. You just saw me do it.
I would say it almost feels like it's kind of what they wanted to do with Dense Biozone, but like couldn't quite, like they didn't have the technology or like the manpower yet, like when they first made the game.
I think Dense Biozone is more notable for its like weird ass cave because it's like a bunch of like pancake shaped like caverns on top of one another. They're just like big wide discs that just sit on top of one another of empty space.
Scouts thrive on Dense Biozone because there's a lot of stuff to like climb up to and like really, really tall caves and stuff like that. Yeah.
So we're all 3 of us and Pat are in the end game right now. So how to get to end game is you upgrade 1 dwarf to level 25. Then you have to do a promotion mission where you do 4 missions, regular missions together to get a promotion. And that's you like level up your dwarves and unlock more stuff and elevate your player level and stuff too. But what is like? What do you guys think about the end game, like overclocks and stuff like that? How do you guys feel about the overclocks?
The end game is real deep rock. I don't think the game actually starts until you start doing all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the weapons are fun, but once you start getting overclocks, it's just like it's like, and they're really fun and creative overclocks in this game. Like really, like I think the breach cutter especially has like some of the
breach
most
cutter
insane...
has some crazy cool ones.
Yeah, so the breach cutter is like a weapon that normally fires just like a big purple kind of laser line ahead of you, but you can get like overclocks and make it like shoot into one spot and then spin around. You can get it so you can control how it rolls. Like if you hold down the mouse button, it turns around, and then when you release, it goes in that direction and stuff like that. You can get one where if you hold it down, it goes forward, and then when you release, it comes back to you. It's just so like super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, weapon overclocks are like basically special mods you can put on your guns. Clean overclock is like up damage, up range, like up like DPS and stuff like that.
Just positives, pretty much.
What are they called? Volatile overclocks?
Unstable, I think.
Unstable overclocks, which is that's the weird shit. That's like when you get your revolver and you put elephant rounds inside. It's real slow and unwieldy, but it blasts
completely
dudes
changes the weapon usually.
I think the best one is a special powder for scouts, secondary scouts, double barrel shotgun, because you can use it because you can like zoop up with your zip line, and if you fall, you can use it to like soften your blow because it like starts to shoot you in the air in a little bit. Or if you like start flinging yourself when you're waiting for your zip line to recharge, you can use it to like propel yourself like a million miles an hour through the cave. It's really cool.
It basically makes you into Quake Man times 2, like jumping around these caves. And with the grapple and stuff, like you can literally just jump around a cave and never touch the ground with those two, honestly. And there's also like Hoverclock and stuff, and you can with Scout's tools you can combine them and just fly around like Spider-Man/Superman like at all times. It's crazy.
What do you guys feel about the machine events? Because you don't have to get the Overclocks from deep dives. You can also get them from random events in levels. And we should talk about the random stuff in levels too that can spawn. But how do you guys feel about machine events?
I mean, I think they're mostly interesting and they kind of like, they're just kind of like a fun way to break up the pace of a mission, except for Omen, and we're going to talk about that right now because fuck Omen, fuck the Omen modulator, straight to hell.
Yeah, a lot of the machine events are like, oh, you throw bombs at this one thing, or you have to like get a pickaxe like upgrade. You like break rock guys who can't get killed by anything else. But Omen fucking
Omen
sucks.
is a whole nother thing. Omen spawns a big ass fucking column out of the ground like a totem pole, and it's got 3 sections on it, and you need to like stand on a specific part to open a specific section to be able to damage it. And it's just a nightmare. If you get a wrong combination of... There's like different parts that can be in each totem.
There's four different parts. Yeah.
There's the drone. There's the big hammer thing that shoots you like with big huge rifle rounds. There's the pulse thingy on the ground that shoots out pulse rounds. Yeah. And then there is the... Yeah. What's the last one?
What's the last one, Brandon?
The laser slicer. It shoots like 2 lasers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That one's the easiest one out of the top 2 ones.
And if you get the wrong combination, it can just fucking ruin your team almost instantly if you're not constantly moving or set up.
I think that it would be okay, like, if it just had the laser and the drones. I hate that fucking machine gun on the Omen. That's what always kills me.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Because you don't know... It's basically on either side of the totem pole will be... They rotate, so every section rotates, so they'll move around. But there's like a machine gun that if you're on, like, has 4... If you're in that line of fire with a full shield and full health for like 5 seconds, you're dead.
Yeah, I don't think it would even be so bad if the other machine events were like a similar challenge, but the Omen
one's highly above.
It's like a huge step up from like
killing
guys.
It's not the same at all. Yeah,
killing regular guys and like throwing a little yellow jewel in the thing. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. And honestly, like I think with Driller, he has very few weapons that can even like hit it.
If I'm Driller and I run into that,
you don't even do it.
A Kurlock seed,
I don't even do it.
Like Driller is very important to like manipulate the environment around to make it doable, but in terms of actually like fighting the thing, like he really can't do much. It feels bad.
I think the Driller is the worst class just because he doesn't do as well in one-on-one engagements. Like if he has to fight like a Dreadnought or something by himself, it's not great.
That is true. I mean, he's definitely the worst for the single target damage, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, it's so easy to say that, but then every time we're missing one class, every single mission, if we're missing one class, I'm always like, damn, I really want that class right now, which is, that's a fantastic game design if I'm constantly thinking about that.
What about the other stuff in the game, like the Kurlock seed and the cosmetic
I love Kurlock seeds. I want to see more weird animal shit like that in the game. Kurlock seeds pretty much spawn, and they're like a big fungus type of thing. It's a big plant that'll attack you. It like sprouts up little heads that can shoot orbs at you and stuff, and it can heal itself, and it's another type of thing. You just get rare materials from it. Mm-hmm. But I really want to see more shit like that in the game. I want to see
more mini bosses.
Yeah, more mini bosses, more like random little stuff that you can optionally skip or do for a challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll probably add more machine events and stuff like that, like as they go along.
I think it's probably a huge ask. They're probably hard to
yeah, for sure. I think actually going back to what you were talking about the game design, I think we should talk about that, like how all the classes interact with each other. I think it is the best part of this game, and I think that's why we play so much, is because every like the traversal tools for all the characters and stuff and how they work together, what their combat roles are, it makes this game just amazing. Like I think a lot, like going back to Doom Eternal, of course, Brandon's on the podcast. I like Hugo Martin, like the lead developer, talks a lot about the combat puzzle, and I think this game is the best thing. It's got that as well, but I think it's also got the exploration puzzle, which sounds kind of lame now that I'm saying it, but it actually makes the game just like so enjoyable to play, like especially with a bunch of people, like all the classes together. Oh, it's fantastic.
There's like common ones, right? Because I think everyone here has played TF2 a bit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have.
Like Team Fortress or Titanfall?
And Team Fortress 2. Titanfall's better, but Team Fortress 2. And it's always the memes about like the medic and the heavy, that they're always like stuck together and like they like work really well together. And this game, it's really like there's always a case to be made that all the doors work together. I think the one that's the most obvious is Engineer and Scout, but other than that, like, yeah, whenever we play a deep dive and we're like, fuck, we should have had the driller drill us out of here, or fuck, we should have the scout to get those minerals up there, or fuck, we should have the gunner for the shield because we're getting effed. Like, it's always something like that.
And I think those times too, when the whole team is working together and you get like a perfect escape and everything you set up beforehand's like working perfectly and you're just killing all the bugs at the same time, it's like drugs, man. It's so good. It's so good.
I was gonna say, I've said it before, this is a video game. It doesn't feel like a game that's made in current day. There's no loot boxes, there's no like predatory practices, there's no ranked modes, it's just fun. I sit down and I just play it, and it is a fun video game, and then that's it. It's such a good time.
Good.
I want to ask you guys how you feel about like the community and like playing with randoms. I think
I love randoms. I have a polarizing view on playing with randoms. Sometimes they are good and they're fine. And if they don't say anything, but I know that they're looking, like if I ping somewhere and then they look somewhere, I'm like, okay, they're cognitive, they're looking. But then sometimes you get people that I'm like, bro, they're dead at their chair. Like they're dead and they're just have their hand on the W key and they're just going the motions. They're like, they'll smash the button as soon as you get the first objective done, even though they're not the host. They'll like randomly take a bunch of resupplies for no reason, and it's like they are literally not playing the same game as you.
Yeah,
I do not play this game with randoms. I don't think it would be fun.
So for me personally, I actually really enjoyed playing with randoms. Of course, I have some people who are bad and like as Dan was saying, they hit the button early or do some stuff that and not listening, whatever. But honestly, I've had some really rewarding experiences playing with randoms, like especially some greenbeards. Like some people who see me come in and I'm like, what? I'm like level 300 now. It's a little ridiculous. Plus, and I go in and there's like some guys who are level like 20 or something. They're like, whoa, and then like we have a great time and I kind of show them the ropes a bit and like what we can do, and it's really fun. And honestly, I've had that way more than I've had bad people. It's the community.
I think lately, lately I feel like I've been having more good experiences than bad. But
it's because we're between sales.
Yeah, that is true. There are still instances I get where I'm like, this person is double my level, and I've had to pick them up 5 times, and I'm like, they must be letting someone play on their account. But you said it a while ago, Jim. You're like, this is a game that you can just play and not ever get better at.
No, you can just like
rank up. Yeah.
I mean, you could stick around on like has 2 or 3 and just level up. It would take a long time because the XP is less, but yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could just grind it out,
Yep.
I wanted to talk about the subreddit a little because our friend Brandon here is famous, and we're all famous on the subreddit.
We're canon.
Yeah, we're canon now.
We're canon. We are the dwarves of Deep Rock now.
I think we're canon. In my mind, we're canon.
We're the canon. We are the Deep Rock Galactic dwarves. Like,
pretty much.
Jeez.
Brandon made like a sick ass art. The art that is like the background of my computer right now. And he posted it on Reddit. You can follow him at Tin Man. Is it just at Tin Man?
No, it's b.chen art, an ArtStation, and on Instagram, and then ArtStation is Brandon_Chen at artstation.com. So,
but if you want to find the Reddit post, it's like Tin Man.
Yeah, that's right. That's my Reddit username.
So it got like 2.5k upvotes, which is crazy on that subreddit because it's only like it's 50,000 members or some shit, and like it got a whole lot of comments and stuff, and the devs commented on it.
That's why I think we're canon. The devs commented, so now I'm immortalized in Brandon's art.
Shout out to Jacob from Ghost Ship Games. Thank you. Love the product, my boy. Love it.
So let's talk about the current controversy with Deep Rock,
mods.
And that is mods. They've added modding support, and it's like here's what I say about the mods, right? It's a great integration. This is like the easiest game I've ever modded. You literally just open it in game in Steam browser, log in with your Steam account, download them, try them, do crazy shit. I have mods on. I have I turn the Revive canteen into a juice box, and I have a mod installed. We all have it installed. We can change the Molly, the little robot that follows you around. You dump minerals in. You can change how she looks.
Fantastic.
That's the best mod that's been released so far. But I do not like, so far, the gameplay change mods too much. I think some of them are pretty good that Brandon's using because Brandon's crazy in them. I like the flashlight mod.
Me too. Yep.
I like some of them. But I think some of them just bork the balance too much. I think if they were better implemented, I was talking to you about that last night, Brand, about the
Starship
Stormtrooper mod or whatever the
yeah.
heck it's called. Yeah, it would have been. I think it's better if they put a little more effort into it and actually like labeled stuff better. But what do you guys think about them?
I'm at the same thing right now. I think it's too early to really give a great opinion on them. I like the mods. I will download the mods that change cosmetics. Like, you have a really nice mod that I like. That's the Bulu Cap Juice Box Revive thing. It's a very cute little inside thing for the game. It just changes a revive like canister. It changes nothing. And I have the little stuff on the bar. I have little wiggle heads on the bar and bobbleheads and stuff. And yeah, the flashlight mod. But I'm still quite hesitant to fuck around with the stuff that changes the bare basics of the game. The like bug count and the health count and especially like the nitra being at 60 and all that stuff is like, I think it's still early on. I want a mod to come through that packages everything into one that you download and it's like, it's set properly and all that stuff. And I'm sure it'll come.
Well, I have actually, unlike these guys, been indulging quite heavily in the gameplay mods.
You're a lunatic.
I've really been enjoying them. I've always had this thought that I love the amount of bugs that spawn in Hazard 5, but I don't like their health values and their speed. They're too fast and they're too tanky, you know? So this mod effectively allows you to kind of control Starship Troopers with the custom enemy caps. You can kind of play around with how many enemies spawn in the game and stuff like that, and so you can make Haz 4, but with like kind of more closer to Haz 5 spawns and stuff like that. It's really fun, and I think there's a lot of tools in this game that I find I don't use a lot unless there's a lot of bugs. You know, like the shield with the gunner, I barely ever use on Haz 4 anymore. A couple times, like when you're doing the different missions and stuff, but yeah, like I find for the most part. And the C4 and the driller I don't use very much on Haz 4.
I think we're too good, bro. I think because we play Haz 4 a lot. I just think we're too good.
We gotta get those Starship Troopers. Lots of fun.
I think at a time that I will, and we'll figure out the exact proper bug count addition and the health count, and it'll feel perfect. But I feel right now, sometimes I get in and I'm like, this is hell, but fun. And then sometimes I'm like, this is impossible, and you literally can't beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest mods for New Vegas is called Project Nevada, and you can change like everything. You can change enemy spawns, different things. But like when you're setting things, it'll say this is vanilla. Like this is what the baseline is, which you get in the regular game, and they don't have that for that mod.
I think that'd be a great addition for it. Yeah. 100%.
I'm sure it'll come. 100% it'll come. Someone will package together everything with the mod's developer's permission and be like, this is the mod to download that auto sets everything properly to what everyone agrees is the best.
See, I don't mind if they don't package together like that. I just want a comprehensive guide. I want someone who's not brain dead like me to get together and kind of like test and do all that shit for me.
We'll have to dig into the code.
Literally.
Well, you guys were saying that they were posting on the subreddit that people just weren't joining modded servers because if you have a gameplay change mod, like people won't join you. I don't have gameplay change mods. I have like cosmetic mods.
I've noticed that for sure. Like when I host a game that's modded, like I'll have like maybe one person join like the entire time I'm playing. Yeah.
Well, isn't the thing is in the server browser, it'll just say modded. It doesn't tell you what the mods are until you click OK and you have to run through the joining process, and then it'll be like this person has X mods on. Download to join.
Actually, if you hover over the game, it'll tell you.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. You do have to hover like just for a second, but like it'll show what they got.
Well, there's also like different tiers of mods too, right? That we didn't talk about. There's I forget what they're called. But there's like
verified,
basically verified, approved, and like sandbox. So verified is nothing's fucking with progression. Like you're not messing with the grind or anything, which is like cosmetics and shit. Approved is like what Brian was talking about. It's like more bugs. Or like longer refueled lasers and like 5x, like gameplay changes that don't bork anything. And then sandbox is literally like get every weapon, get every
unlimited ammo, fast speeds,
upgrade,
high jump,
ammo,
double damage for every gun and stuff. Yeah. For sure.
I think those mods will be fun. That's what I think about those mods. They're fun for like 2 seconds. And
Me
then,
too,
like, you're just like, okay, I'm going to install these.
Yeah, a lot of them are just like cheating mods, right? Like it's just like, oh yeah, get the machine event.
It's
every
literally
time.
cheating.
Yeah, for sure. So
I was that way as a kid. Like I was exactly what you just described, Jim. I was like, I'd download all those mods, dude. I'd Left 4 Dead 2. I'd be running every single fucking cool mod I could get, and I'd play it for 2 seconds and be like, I just want to see a regular zombie. I don't want to see the Teletubbies as the zombies anymore.
Oh man,
that's the thing when I modded like Skyrim and New Vegas and stuff, because people were like, "Oh, you're gonna get the super powerful blah blah." I'm like, no, I'm gonna get the thing that like that like changes how much you need to drink and like, makes it look a little prettier and gives you little extra guns that aren't OP. Like I just want to have a smoother, like more fun time. That's
Jim
what I
downloads the
want.
foreskin mod. He wants to know whether or not his character has a foreskin.
There's circumstances.
That's true. I mean, Cyberpunk made a lot of money on that selling point, so I can understand.
Cyberpunk sucks. Cyberpunk had 2 prostitutes that they weren't even weird. They were just like a man and a woman. They didn't have 3 tits or 2 heads or nothing.
Sucks. All right, let's not talk about Cyberpunk because that'll be that. I mean, we could probably do a whole episode about that.
We haven't even played it.
I don't want to play.
Yeah, I know. We haven't even played it. We could probably do a whole episode on that. But
literally. To
finish this off, because we didn't talk about them, what's your favorite enemy and your least favorite enemy in this game? You go first.
Okay, that's tough. What's honestly, I think my favorite enemy is just like the regular grunts, man. Like they're just so like
I could see that.
They're just iconic, like great, fun to kill. Like oh my god, dude, like. What Dan was talking about earlier with the feedback with this sniper rifle for the scout. Oh my lord, when you pop like 12 of those guys in a row, you're just like,
it feels so good.
Oh my god.
Like a big splurch sound, they scream or they fall off the wall.
The punch of the bullet hitting them is fantastic. The splat sound and like their heads coming off, and yeah, I've sounded like a psychopath a lot talking about like the feedback in this game because
it's cartoonish though. It's not like you're killing people or something. They're like big, like goofy looking, like arachnid things that just have a big face. That
I know, but I think the way I describe it is always like kind of erotic sounding. Like the splorch, good.
What's your least favorite enemy, Brand?
Okay, I'd say either bulk debts or the Coroner shellbacks.
I can see that.
Especially on salt pits. That was a big problem in the last stage. Like, we were getting...
The big rain dish full of fucking, like, roly-polies that knock you 8 million
and they get
feet
into,
away.
like, tunnels, and they hit you, like, 12 times in, like, 4 seconds, and you just go down instantly, and you're like, oh, god damn it.
What about you, Dan? What's your least favorite and favorite enemy?
I think... my favorite would probably slashers or web spitters. I like shooting at web spitters when they're on the roof because they fall down to the ground and it looks really funny. Yep. I also like Mactera grabbers. Shooting them is always a good time too because they're flying around. When they die, they ragdoll just like everything else.
Least favorite?
Least favorite, and this is just because I think they're horribly used, and they do count as an enemy, I guess, but those goddamn beehives, I think they need to be changed a lot. They're always, like, so underwhelming. I see one and you shoot it, like, twice and it's done. I feel like I want them to do something cool.
They don't ever attack you because they're stationary. They're, like, a piece of the terrain unless you don't see them. If you don't see them and you're standing on top of them, you'll get hit by bees and, like, where the fuck is it? And you can't find it.
I think that could be a whole thing with Hollow Bow. There's, like, unique one-off enemies that are big bumblebee type of things that can crawl into the trees and around. I think that would be neat.
Oh, that'd be neat, yeah.
My favorite enemy is the good old Presbyterian, the Pescatarian, the Praetorian.
The
Praetorian's
the main tank of the game. Because, like, whenever I make a class, right, like all my classes, there's always like I always make them around taking down a Praetorian by themselves. Like when I'm scout, I throw an ice grenade and I shoot him twice with my shotgun. He's dead. Engineer, you just get him in the butt, and like gunner, you get behind them. If you hit Praetorian with a gunner grenade that sticks, he'll turn around and show you his ass. You can shoot him to death.
I do like fighting the Praetorians. They're really great.
I think my least favorite enemy is those fucking enemies they rip from Half-Life on the wall hangers, whatever the fuck they're called. I hate them so much. They make a horrible sound.
Oh, the stabbers?
They'll make the stabbing vines. They'll make a creaking sound, and then they'll shoot you. They'll jump right in front of your face and make a screaming sound, and it's like the only jump scare in this fucking game.
When they die, they like actually make a human scream, do they not?
Yeah, they do. So like when they first are like tracking, because they're kind of just like in an idle position, and when you get near, they like this creaking, this really bassy creaking noise, like, and then they go shunk, and when you kill them, it's like it's like it's horrible.
I think bolt debts and stuff have their place. I like them because they're like a challenge and stuff. But the fucking hitbox on those stupid stabber vines is fucked. Because sometimes you hit them in the stabber vine and they die instantly, the arms.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're like 2 millimeters off and they don't go down. You have to shoot them twice. Like they're just borked.
They're
just
really fucked. Yeah.
They're fuckered.
I think that is it. I'm sorry Pat couldn't join us this week, but what are you guys like closing thoughts on Deep Rock Galactic?
This game is, for me, a 9.5 out of 10 game. This game is amazing. All by indie developers from Denmark, called Ghost Ship Games. please check out the game if you haven't already. And if you have and you didn't like it, well then just don't at me.
We didn't say that this game is like $20. It's 4 gigabytes large, and it runs like fucking a dream.
Oh, yeah.
It runs amazing.
And I have 200 hours in it. Imagine a game that's 4 gigabytes. Guys, they don't have to be 300 gigabytes. You remember that.
I have like 400 hours in the game. It's a bit of a problem.
I have 350 hours on a game that you could run on a fucking USB stick from 2009.
It's fantastic, guys. Really, just everyone, please get it.
What are your final thoughts, Dan?
My final thoughts are, I think this game is like a masterclass in indie development. Like, I think it is fucking crazy how good this game is done, and I think a lot of AAA studios, like, pale in comparison to this. Mm-hmm. The amount of time and money spent in this game is ridiculous. Like, I've bought all the cosmetic packs, and the cosmetic packs are optional, and they say that. They say that very clearly. They say that you literally do not need to buy this. This is just because if you like the game, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. Mm-hmm. And I've not done that with any other game, and I'm gonna get a lot more hours into this game easily. Like, I'm excited. There's a huge new update dropping, and they just teased another thing that's either gonna be tabletop rules or a Kickstarter or something in the space rig, and yeah, this game's fucking amazing. Go and buy it.
I would say that I am a guy, and I do not usually like multiplayer games.
That is true.
I don't like them at all, usually. I'll play them for like a week, and then I'll get sick, and I'll throw them down. But I'm a sucker for co-op. I fucking love co-op games. And chilling with you guys every week doing the deep dives is like one of the best parts of quarantine so far.
100%.
Like, it like... This year of COVID was much better just because every week I knew we're doing the deep dives on Tuesday. We're fucking
the anchor in our lives was the deep dives.
Yeah. I will say before we get going, as I've gotten older, I've been pretty much saying fuck multiplayer games as a whole, fuck competitive games. I don't have enough time in my day, and I don't want to get stressed out and shit trying to compete against like 15 and 16-year-olds that
100%.
Don't have jobs and come home from high school. And I used to be that kid who'd come home and play League of Legends for 8.5 hours and then go to bed. But, like, I don't have enough time for that. I just want to play a game with my friends.
100%, yeah.
Go and buy it. It's also on fucking Xbox Game Pass. Go and spend $1 and you can play it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go fucking get that.
Just
Jesus
wherever
Christ.
you can get this game, just get it.
Yeah, just buy it.
I think we're closing out on Shack Out Back, and I think it's Dan's pick for next time. So what you picking for the next topic, man?
Brandon, do you want to hear what I'm picking?
No, I think I'm just going to go buy... No, of course, I'd love to hear.
Jesus Christ.
I'm picking...
We're closing the doors. I'm handing Radicus over to Brandon so you can give a little pat on the head. I'm giving Brandon an extra pair of footy pajamas. I got a run in the knee. I'm sorry,
that's
Brandon.
okay. I'm used to it. I live in a shack myself.
I'm getting up and I'm walking to the TV and I'm putting it in the Blu-ray player. And my pick for next time, I want me and you to watch Annette, Jim. I want you to see this movie and feel what I felt watching this movie.
Is that a woman's name, Annette, or is it about a net?
It is Annette. It's got Adam Driver and a French opera singer, and it's a musical. And I think you're gonna like it quite a lot.
That sounds like my jam. I like Adam Driver. I liked The Dead Don't Die.
Fuck off.
So I think I'm gonna like it. But I think I'm putting the shade on the gas light. We're closing the curtains.
CO2 is filling up the room. I'm dying slowly.
We're dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. So Brandon,
yes,
how are you gonna take us out before you choke to death?
Yeah, just watch more of the Shack Out Back, guys. Please do it. My friend is a beautiful.
Oh, follow us on YouTube. At Popeye Barkett on Twitter. At
Markle
Danny on Twitter. Follow Brand's Art Station at Brand Chen Art Station.
Yeah, it's Brandon_Chen.artstation.com and b.chenart or bchen.art on Instagram. Please, Joe Rogan fired me from the Joe Rogan podcast after he got COVID. He's downsizing. Please, I need money.
Yeah, I had to commission Brandon to make stuff for my D&D game so we could like survive and be able to eat another can of beans for one more day. But I think that's it.
That's all. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.